Well, this is fun. I was just at Kristen's restaurant in Austin.
You were.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Great job. And you're coming off Traitors, which was incredible. Similar strategy for that in Top Chef?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing that I knew how to do was try to make it one more day. Just one more day. And after that, everything else kind of did not, like cooking and trying to survive murder and banishment are very different.
Yes.
But surviving competition is similar.
She was amazing. She really did us proud.
Yeah.
There was a moment in the end, I was like, she's gonna get it. She's gonna get it. Oh.
She got it.
Yes, she did. The Top Chef launched 20 years ago, which is just absolutely crazy. I mean, Gail, for you, it started in this building, right?
Oh, God, can you, wow.
Wow.
That picture just like mystifies me. I was 13, obviously, at the time.
Yeah. Do you remember your first interview?
I remember all of it.
Yeah.
I was working at Food and Wine magazine. I thought I had the best job in the world. Already there, I had reached the pinnacle of my food industry career, and I got a call from my publisher one day telling me to go to 30 Rock for a screen test for this new show they were talking to Bravo about pairing with and partnering with, and I did not know what a screen test was. I had probably done a cumulative 7 minutes of television in my life, and I came to this building.
Yep.
But I told this story about how having an egg in a diner once made me cry, not for a good reason. And I got a call a couple weeks later that I was starting Top Chef in San Francisco.
Yep. Tom, we had to chase you down. You kept saying no.
Playing hard to get.
Why?
Playing hard to get.
Why were you playing hard to get?
Well, I mean, during the time when we first started doing the show, there was another show, and I promised the chef I wouldn't mention his name, but there was another reality show based on a restaurant, and it was just terrible. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. And so I said no, and then they came back and said, can we get you on camera? I said, fine. So they came to the restaurant with a little camcorder and asked me a few questions. And then 2 days later, I got another call saying, can you go to LA for a screen test? It's like, absolutely not. I don't want to do this. And so I had a documentary done on the opening of my restaurant, Craft. And so I sent them that. And then they called and said, we want to make an offer. And I was like, fine. and
here you are.
Best decision I ever made in my life.
20 years later. Kristen, you competed on the show and won, and now you're hosting the show, which is an incredible trajectory. Why do you think it works so well?
You know, I think it works so well because the integrity of the show remains intact. It's about the food, it's about the chefs, and we are just like the people to put voices to what we're tasting. But I will say now that, pun intended, I see how the secret sauce is made, everything still remains intact.
Yes.
It's very, I mean, I'm so proud to have this show as part of our industry. It's important, it creates a lot of conversations, and introduces us and all of you watching to incredible chefs across the country.
Yeah. How do you two think the show has changed over the years?
I think it's just a lot. I mean, we had no idea. You tell us, Andy. I mean, we were there in the early years. We sort of didn't know what we were doing, but in a good way. We knew we were breaking ground, right? We were doing something different that no other competition show and no other food show had ever done, but we were much smaller. I don't know if you remember, but we used to sit at judges' table at like a dining room table, and the chefs were sitting across from us.
Yeah.
Right.
Super awkward.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we've made a lot of big and small changes. I think the best thing about Top Chef is that every year our producers evolve the show. They push it, they try new things, and we never stay like in a box.
Well, I remember first season, second episode, Halloween evening, we were shooting in an S&M shop in San Francisco, and I said, this is the end of it. Like, this is the most embarrassing thing in the world. This is never gonna work. So the big changes are we're doing a little less reality and more of the competition, more food. And
You
I think
really
it's really
insisted early on, you really pushed the producers to find the highest quality chefs. That was a really big priority for you because early seasons, we had a breadth of chefs from home chefs and you leveled up the quality of competitors.
You know, having amateurs compete against professionals is just not fair. I mean,
Right.
amateurs can't think as quickly and produce as quickly and execute the way a professional can. And so I just didn't think it was fair. And then I thought, if we're going to make something that we're trying to say this is the great cooking, let's go out and let's get chefs who can really cook, like Kristen.
The quality of chefs is high, but there's a really good amount of drama, which I love. So.
She needs a second. I can see it.
She's having a moment.
Hey, take a breath. Do you want to sit down? Okay, come here. Sit. Sit for a second. I'm going to tell you something. It's okay. It's okay. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's overwhelming. What exactly is making you upset?
The plates that I'm dropping on you guys are not finished.
It's not finished. They're not finished. Okay? Oh, gosh. Whatever happens here, no matter what, you are still a phenomenal chef.
Yeah.
We all have bad days, and it's okay.
Welcome back. I am here with the judges of Top Chef, Tom Colicchio, Gail Simmons, and Kristen Kish. That was a look at the latest season, which takes place in the Carolinas. You really moved me in that scene. Talk to me about that moment and talk to me about the pressure that the chefs are under because you've been there as a chef.
You know, I'm so grateful that I had a vantage point to see her come out because her hands were shaking so bad and you could tell she was hyperventilating and it was like a full-on panic attack.
Yeah.
And so without thinking, I think you just do the human thing when you see someone having a hard time is you just go up to her. At that point, it was less about, it wasn't about the food. It was making sure that she got to the table to serve her food. Like at that point, everything was done. So it's not like, I was coaching her on how to cook something. I was just getting her to the table, which is ultimately what she came there to do.
Yes.
It's a lot of pressure and everyone handles it differently and it impacts you differently.
Yeah.
Like she had said since that episode that she has never had a panic attack before.
Wow.
And so you just feel the weight of something because this show is important and it does make such a large impact on your career. You take that with so much pressure. And sometimes it impacts you in a way like that.
Gail, you've seen other moments like this.
There's been a few.
Yeah.
There's been a few. You know what it made me think about is that, and I swear this just came across my mind. At the very beginning, you once said something to us in the early days of Top Chef about the chefs themselves that I always think about because every year they come in, raring to go, and I think when they get there, they realize how really hard it is and how they are in a position that almost no one else understands. And you once told us that every group of chefs, like they are experiencing something that no one else will experience, and that brings them together, but it also brings out so many things in themselves, and only they, this little sort of cohort, can truly appreciate what that feels like. And you really see it. That I love that this year there's a lot of drama. It kind of feels a bit old school in that great way because they have such big personalities. But you also see how they react under these unbelievable circumstances and also how close they really get. And I think you saw the support we try to give them, and obviously that moment with Kristen, but how the other chefs rally around her too.
Yeah.
What I really loved about that moment was the trust that the production team had in Kristen, because there wasn't a discussion. She just got up and did what she felt that she had to do as a person, providing that empathy that she needed at that moment. And I think a lot of producers would have stopped them and said, let her just break down. It's great for TV.
Right.
But they just let her do what she felt she should do, and I think that's why the show is so successful. There's a trust between us, the production team. They know that we're there for the right reasons. We're not trying to make something of a show that's not. We're really authentic, and I think you can see it there. Yeah.
This season takes place in the Carolinas. Where, why, tell me.
We've been to a lot of places at this point. 23 seasons, 23 finales, and we go to a different part of the country or the world every time. And I think it's safe to say, we know there's great food in New York, in LA, in London, in Paris, in Chicago, San Francisco. But what we also know is that there is great hyper-regional food in every corner of this country.
Yeah.
And so it's really fun to be able to explore other places. We've been to Charleston, we've been to coastal Carolina, and this gave us a chance to really explore the mountainous sort of, regions of the Carolinas that I don't think get a lot of play.
Yeah.
Now, the judges' deliberations are much shorter than they used to be, I'm told, in my day.
Yes.
Yeah.
In your day, we would go overnight. I remember I once fell asleep at the judges' table at like 6 in the morning.
Yes.
The roosters start crowing. Yeah. Those were brutal. They do go a lot shorter now. We have condensed it. We've made it more succinct. It's still longer than you see a quarter of on TV.
Right.
But instead of being like 7 hours, they're like a solid 3-4 hours these days, which feels very humane Because we still want to get it right. You know, we still want to have a great conversation.
Wow. I left too soon. Tom, do you think, I mean, I think the show changed the way we talk about food, don't you?
Absolutely.
How do
it's
you
funny.
see that?
It's funny, I'll go to a restaurant, I'll overhear, you know, the couple on the table behind me, you know, critiquing the food, and it's like, God, I'm hearing my voice, this is horrible. But I think what it's really done is I think it's made the average consumer aware of what chefs actually go through and what they do to create food. It's not just a recipe that you follow. There's a process, and there's a creative process, and it's great to see. And I think you could see it, you know, all happening in real time.
I mean, it's created a dialogue around food
Sure.
that didn't used to exist.
Amuse-bouche, who knew what that was?
Honestly.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Kristen, you get a tattoo for every season of Top Chef. What's your latest?
Their faces. No, that's next year. No, I got a killer sunburn. Not killer, I mean bad. Horrible sunburn on the first day, and all season long we were trying to cover it up. So I took the shape of the sunburn on my back, made it into a flower pot, and then instead of a flower head, it's the sun. So it's my sunburn.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, very thoughtful,
Very
obviously.
thoughtful.
But
You're very
also,
thoughtful.
where's the gummy bear?
Oh, I have
my
a gummy
favorite,
bear
too.
for my first season because I bring a lot of candy.
Yes.
And at judges' table, they sit to my left.
Yes.
Candy
And
buffet.
then for Canada season, I got a canoe because we went out on Lake Louise canoeing.
I love it. That's adorable. Well, I'm very excited about the new season. It's so good. And the new season of Top Chef airs Monday nights at 9:30. It streams the next day on Peacock.